Every morning, life gives you a gift, 24 hours, no more, no less. It is the same gift given to every human being, yet the outcomes are never the same. Some use those hours to create, to grow, to move closer to their purpose. Others let them slip through their fingers, consumed by distractions and noise. Time is not the problem. The question is, what will you do with the hours you have? The day is your canvas, and every action is a brushstroke. You can paint a masterpiece, or you can leave it blank. The choice has always been yours. Every single day the clock resets and gives you 24 hours. No more, no less. It doesn't matter if you are a billionaire, a monk, a student, or someone struggling to find their way. The gift is the same. Time is the great equalizer. It does not care about your background, your social status, your education, or the mistakes you have made in the past. It flows forward with perfect fairness, handing everyone the same number of hours. But if you look closely at life, you will notice something. While the hours are the same, the outcomes are vastly different. Some people use their day to build strength, wisdom, and opportunity. Others let it dissolve into meaningless activities that leave them feeling tired but empty. The difference is not in how much time they had, but in how they chose to live it. We often think we lack time. We say to ourselves, I wish there were more hours in the day. But if more hours were truly the solution, the world would be full of people living their dream lives. The truth is, it's not the quantity of time that matters, it's the quality of what we do with it. Imagine two people who both have a block of clay. One molds it into a beautiful statue while the other leaves it untouched. At the end of the day, one has art, and the other has a lump of clay. The hours in your day are like that block. They can remain unused or be shaped into something meaningful. If you believe that your circumstances are the reason you cannot live the life you want, remember this. There are people with fewer resources, fewer connections, and fewer advantages who still find a way to create extraordinary lives. They do not have a secret door that leads to extra hours. They simply value the hours they have. They spend them as if they were spending gold coins. Carefully, thoughtfully, without waste. This is where self-discipline begins, in recognizing that time is your most precious resource and refusing to spend it carelessly. Think about what happens when you treat time as endless. You start to delay the things you should do today. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll do it when I feel ready. But tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next year. Meanwhile, time is moving forward, unbothered by your hesitation. Opportunities arrive and leave, and you are left with the same number of hours, but fewer chances to use them well. To live fully, you must break this habit of waiting. You must live as if the clock were your partner in creation, not your enemy or your excuse. There is also the illusion of business. Many people are exhausted at the end of the day, yet they have accomplished nothing that moves them forward. They confuse activity with productivity. They fill their hours with small distractions, endless scrolling, gossip, unplanned conversations, and tasks that feel urgent but are not truly important. At the end of the day, they feel spent, yet their life remains the same. The wise see through this illusion. They understand that not all hours are equal in value. An hour spent in deep focus on something that matters is worth far more than 10 hours spent scattered on things that don't. To manage your day well, you must start by understanding that each hour is a decision. You are either investing it into something that builds you or spending it on something that depletes you. This is why self-awareness is essential. You must be honest about where your time goes. If you tracked your day hour by hour, what would you discover? Would you find that your actions match your ambitions? Or would you see that your time is slipping through cracks you didn't even notice? Awareness is the first step toward mastery. You cannot improve what you do not measure. Consider the most accomplished individuals in any field. They are not simply gifted, they are masters of their hours. They know exactly when they will work, when they will rest, and when they will train. They understand that a wasted morning cannot be recovered in the evening. They know that drifting through the day with no clear plan is the fastest way to lose control of life. This is why they guard their time fiercely, saying no to anything that pulls them away from what truly matters. They are not unkind or selfish, they are simply aware that their time is not infinite, and they refuse to let it be stolen. The discipline of valuing time transforms how you live. When you truly see that each day is a treasure, you begin to cut away what is unnecessary. You stop engaging in conversations that lead nowhere. You stop chasing approval from people who don't matter. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and begin using the moment you already have. This shift in perspective changes not only your schedule, but also your energy, your mindset, and your results. You begin to live with urgency, not the panic of running out of time, but the clarity of knowing that your hours are your life in miniature. Time is life. When you waste hours, you are not just wasting minutes. You are trading away pieces of your existence that you can never get back. Imagine holding a handful of diamonds. Would you toss them into the street for anyone to pick up? Of course not. Yet every time you spend an hour on something that doesn't matter, you are doing the same with your life. The wise treat their hours as treasures. They place them where they will grow into something greater. And here is the final truth. Your relationship with time shapes your relationship with yourself. If you value your hours, you value your life. If you waste your hours, you are quietly telling yourself that your life is not worth protecting. Self-respect begins with respecting your time. It is the silent agreement you make each morning when you wake up. Today, I will not throw away what I have been given. And when you live like this, something powerful happens. Your days stop blending into each other. Your actions start building into something larger than yourself. You begin to see progress not by luck or by chance, but because you have mastered the first truth of achievement. That time is equal for all, but the way you use it will make you different from the rest. The first hour of your day is not just another slice of time. It is the foundation upon which the rest of your day will stand. If the foundation is weak, the building will crumble. If it is strong, everything you do afterward has greater stability, focus and purpose. Yet most people surrender this first hour without thought. They open their eyes and immediately give their attention to the world, to messages, news, noise and demands. They start their day reacting, not creating. And without realizing it, they place their mood, their energy, and their focus into the hands of others before they have even taken control of themselves. When you wake up, your mind is like still water. In those quiet moments, the ripples you create will determine how the rest of the day flows. If the first thing you feed your mind is chaos, you will carry that chaos into your work, your relationships, and your thoughts. If the first thing you feed your mind is intention, you will carry clarity and strength instead. This is why the first hour is sacred. It should belong entirely to you, not to the world. It is your chance to set your direction before the winds of life try to push you off course. To take control of your morning, you must protect it from distraction. This means no phone, no social media, no diving into other people's problems. You begin with yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit. For some, this means meditation, sitting in stillness and simply breathing. For others, it means moving the body, stretching, training, or exercising to awaken energy. It might mean writing in a journal to clear the mind, or reading something that feeds the soul and sharpens the intellect. The method can vary, but the principle remains. The first hour is for building, not reacting. The world will always try to steal your attention. Notifications will flash, voices will call, and responsibilities will press in. If you do not take command of your first hour, you will be dragged into the current of other people's priorities. And when that happens, you may get through the day, but you will not shape the day. It will shape you. The first hour is the shield you raise before entering the battle. Without it, you are unprepared. With it, you move forward with calmness, strength, and focus. Some may say, but I am too busy in the morning. I have work, family, responsibilities. And this is exactly why the first hour must be yours. The busier your life, the more important it becomes to anchor yourself before the storm begins. If you start the day without clarity, you will be tossed from one task to another, always chasing, never leading. But if you begin with stillness, with focus, with deliberate action, you step into your day with control. You no longer feel like time is running away from you. You feel like you are guiding it. Imagine two people waking up. One rolls over, grabs the phone, scrolls through news and messages, rushes out of bed, and immediately reacts to whatever comes next. The other rises quietly, drinks water, stretches, breathes deeply, reflects on the day ahead, and sets a clear intention for what matters most. By the end of the day, their results will be completely different. Even though both had the same number of hours, the first gave their power away at sunrise, the second built their power before the sun even rose fully. Your first hour is also the time when your mind is most open to influence. In sleep, your mind has been resting, clearing, and renewing. When you wake, it is like fertile soil, ready to grow whatever seeds you plant. If you plant seeds of stress and distraction, that is what will grow. If you plant seeds of discipline, gratitude, and purpose, you will harvest a different kind of day. This is why many great thinkers, leaders, and warriors guard their morning rituals fiercely. They understand that how you start is how you continue. And this is not just about productivity, it is about peace. When you start your day with intention, you carry a different energy into the world. You are less likely to be shaken by small inconveniences or sudden challenges because you have already centered yourself. You do not seek calmness from the outside. You have built it from within before the day began. This is why those who master their morning often seem unshaken by the chaos that breaks others. Over time, your first hour becomes more than just a habit. It becomes a message you send to yourself each day. My life matters enough to start it with care. This simple act of self-respect builds confidence. It reminds you that you are not here to drift. You are here to create, to grow, to live with intention. And when you send this message to yourself day after day, your mindset changes. You stop feeling like life is something happening to you and start feeling like life is something you are actively shaping. Many people search for motivation in the middle of the day when they feel tired, scattered, or unfocused. But the truth is, motivation begins in the morning. If you win your first hour, you have already created momentum. You have already chosen discipline over laziness, intention over distraction, creation over reaction. That choice sets the tone for the next hour, and the one after that, until the entire day becomes a reflection of how you started it. So tomorrow when you wake up, resist the urge to give your first moments away. Instead, claim them as your own. Sit in silence, move your body, feed your mind with something that inspires you. Ask yourself what matters most today and commit to making progress toward it. Protect this time as if it were a priceless jewel, because it is. And when you make this a daily practice, you will see a powerful change, not just in your productivity, but in your sense of purpose, your inner peace, and the quality of your life. The first hour is your anchor, your compass, and your shield. Hold on to it, and you will navigate the day with clarity and strength, no matter what storms may come. If you want to take control of your day, you must learn to break it into purposeful blocks. Time without structure is like water without a container. It flows in every direction, but never builds depth. When you allow your day to unfold without design, you are giving permission for distractions, interruptions, and other people's priorities to fill it. But when you divide your day into clear segments, each dedicated to a specific purpose, you create a rhythm that supports your growth and keeps you aligned with what truly matters. The mind likes variety, but it also needs focus. Trying to do everything at once leads to exhaustion without real progress. This is why breaking your day into blocks is so powerful. It allows you to devote your full attention to one task at a time, knowing that everything else will have its place later. For example, there can be blocks for learning, for working, for resting, for moving the body, for connecting with loved ones, and for reflecting. Each block has its own role in keeping you balanced and moving forward. Without these intentional divisions, your energy becomes scattered, and scattered energy cannot create powerful results. Think of a musician practicing a new piece. They don't play the entire song from start to finish over and over without pause. They break it into sections, mastering each one before moving on. Your day works the same way. By focusing on one block at a time, you allow yourself to enter a deeper state of concentration. You stop worrying about what's next because you know it already has a place in your schedule. And in that deep focus, you accomplish more in 1 hour than most do in 3. This approach also helps you avoid one of the greatest thieves of time: decision fatigue. When your day is unplanned, you spend mental energy constantly deciding what to do next. Each small decision drains you until by afternoon, you are tired, not because of the work itself, but because of the endless choosing. When your day is already divided into clear blocks, you don't have to decide over and over. You simply step into the block and give it your full attention. This preserves mental energy for what truly matters. Of course, life will not always follow your plan perfectly. There will be unexpected changes, urgent tasks, or moments when you must adjust. But even then, having a framework keeps you from drifting completely off course. It's like a compass. Even if you have to walk around obstacles, you still know which direction you're headed. Without that compass, you can end up lost, busy all day but moving nowhere. Another advantage of dividing your day into blocks is that it creates space for all areas of your life, not just work. Many people burn out because they pour all their energy into one category, usually their job, while neglecting health, relationships, or self-development. But if your day has a dedicated block for movement, for reflection, and for connection with those you love, you maintain balance. You stop living like a machine and start living like a whole human being. This balance not only protects your energy, but also makes you more effective when you are working. A rested, fulfilled mind works far better than a drained, isolated one. One common mistake is believing that you will find time for important things later. The truth is, you will not find time, you must make it. If you don't schedule it, it will not happen. This is why blocking your day is an act of discipline and self-respect. You are telling yourself, this matters enough to have a place in my day. Whether it's an hour for reading, 30 minutes for exercise, or time to plan the next steps toward your goals, you protect it by giving it a dedicated space. Consider the difference between someone who works in blocks and someone who does not. The first person starts the day knowing exactly when they will handle key tasks, when they will rest, and when they will engage in personal growth. The second person wakes up, glances at a long list of things to do, and attacks them in random order. By evening, the second person feels like they've been running all day but are unsure what they actually achieved. The first person, even if they faced interruptions, can see clear progress because each block moved them forward. It is also important to understand that rest is not wasted time. It is a necessary block. Just as the body needs sleep to recover, the mind needs pauses to recharge during the day. If you pack your schedule without breathing space, you will burn out and your productivity will collapse. Small breaks between blocks help you transition with energy and focus. This is why some of the most disciplined people in the world schedule their rest as carefully as their work. They understand that a mind in balance is a mind that can sustain effort for years, not just days. Breaking your day into blocks also trains you in the art of presence. When you are in the learning block, you are fully there, no worrying about emails or unfinished tasks. When you are in the family block, you are not glancing at your phone every few minutes. This ability to be fully present in one thing at a time not only increases your results, but also deepens the quality of your life. Life is richer when you give your whole self to the moment you are in, instead of living halfway in one place and halfway in another. With practice, this approach becomes second nature. You start to feel when a block is ending and when it's time to move to the next. This rhythm keeps your days flowing smoothly, with a sense of purpose rather than chaos. And over time, the results compound. Just as small savings grow into wealth over years, small focused blocks grow into skills, achievements, and a deeply satisfying life. So decide today. Your day will not be left to chance. It will be divided with care, like a precious resource you are investing. Each block will have a purpose, whether it is to work, to grow, to rest, or to connect. In this way, you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You no longer wait for the right time to do what matters. You create the time, you protect it, and you use it well. And when you live like this, the feeling of being too busy begins to disappear. You see that you have enough hours for what truly matters. As long as you give each hour place and a purpose. If you want to protect your time, you must first protect your focus. Time can be stolen quietly, but focus is taken even faster. Distractions are not just small interruptions. They are thieves that rob you of both minutes and momentum. Every time you allow yourself to be pulled away from what matters, you do not simply lose a few seconds, you lose the mental flow you had built. And once that flow is broken, it can take long minutes to recover it. This is why guarding your attention is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. The modern world is full of invisible traps for your focus. A single notification can pull you into a chain of distractions that eats up half an hour before you realize it. A casual conversation about something meaningless can drift into an hour of lost energy. Even your own thoughts, if not disciplined, can pull you into worrying about things that have no place in the present moment. You may believe that you are multitasking and still making progress, but the truth is simple. Divided attention is weakened attention, and weakened attention produces weak results. To guard against distractions, you must first become aware of them. Notice where your focus goes when you are not paying attention. Is it your phone, your email, your surroundings, your thoughts? Once you identify the usual suspects, you can take deliberate steps to control them. This might mean turning off unnecessary notifications, setting your phone in another room while you work, or telling those around you when you need uninterrupted time. At first, these steps may feel extreme, but they are necessary if you want to reclaim the full power of your concentration. It's not enough to remove distractions. You must also replace them with clarity. If you do not know what you are focusing on, your mind will go looking for something else to fill the space. This is why it is important to enter each block of your day with a clear goal. Ask yourself, what exactly am I trying to achieve in this time? When your mind has a clear target, it becomes easier to resist wandering. It is like a river. When given a path, it flows strongly. When left uncontained, it spreads into shallow puddles. Guarding your focus also requires discipline over your own impulses. Often, the greatest distraction is not outside of us, but inside. You may sit down to work and suddenly feel the urge to check your messages, to tidy your desk, to get another drink, or to just take a quick look at something unrelated. These urges are the mind's way of avoiding discomfort. True focus often begins with discomfort because deep work forces the mind to push beyond its laziness. The key is to resist these urges for just a few minutes. If you can hold your attention through that initial restlessness, you will often find yourself entering a flow state where work feels easier and time moves more smoothly. Another trap to avoid is the belief that every distraction deserves your attention immediately. Urgency is often an illusion. Many things can wait. Emails, messages, requests, but because they arrive suddenly, we feel pressure to respond at once. If you constantly drop what you are doing to react, you are training yourself to live in a state of constant interruption. Instead, train yourself to finish what you started before moving on. Let your mind experience the satisfaction of completing one thing fully before being pulled into another. The people who protect their focus best often appear unavailable to the world for stretches of time. This is not selfishness, it is self-respect. They understand that their ability to create, to solve problems, and to grow depends on their ability to give their undivided attention to the task at hand. When you are always available, you are never fully present, and a life lived in constant partial presence is a life of shallow results. It is also important to understand that not all distractions are external. Sometimes distraction is a symptom of deeper issues, lack of interest, unclear priorities, or hidden fears. If you find yourself constantly escaping your work, ask yourself why. Are you avoiding something challenging because you fear failure? Are you filling your time with easy tasks because they feel safe? Are you chasing constant stimulation because stillness feels uncomfortable? By understanding the roots of your distractions, you can address them directly instead of endlessly fighting the symptoms. Guarding your focus does not mean becoming rigid or shutting out the world completely. It means creating clear boundaries around your attention so that when you are working, you are fully working. When you are resting, you are fully resting. When you are with loved ones, you are fully with them. This separation of focus makes every part of life richer. When you protect your attention in this way, you discover that you can achieve more in a few deeply focused hours than most can in an entire distracted day. The truth is, focus is a form of respect. Respect for your own time, respect for the work you are doing, and respect for the life you are trying to build. Every moment of deep concentration is a brick laid in the structure of your future. Every moment of distraction is a brick stolen from it. You cannot stop the clock, but you can choose whether the hours you are given are used to build something lasting or scattered into nothing. And here is the reward for guarding your focus. Your life begins to feel lighter, not heavier. When you are constantly distracted, your mind is cluttered, pulled in 100 directions at once. This creates stress and a sense that there is never enough time. But when you give yourself fully to one thing at a time, you feel a calm sense of progress. You know that what you are doing matters, and you know that it is moving you forward. That feeling is worth far more than the brief rush of checking a message or chasing another unplanned task. So make this your practice. Close the doors that do not need to be open. Silence the noise that does not serve your growth. Commit to being unavailable to distractions so that you can be fully available to your purpose. In doing so, you will not only reclaim your focus but also reclaim your time, your energy, and your life. Because the truth is simple. A focused hour is a powerful hour, and a life made of such hours is a life of extraordinary achievement. When you give yourself fully to a task, something remarkable happens. Time seems to slow down, your thoughts sharpen, and the work in front of you becomes the only thing that exists. This is the power of being fully present. In a world that constantly pulls your attention in every direction, the ability to pour yourself completely into one moment is rare, and that rarity is what makes it so powerful. Most people live half in the present and half somewhere else, in their phones, in their worries, in their memories, or in their plans for the future. But when you train yourself to be here, now your work becomes deeper, your relationships become richer, and your life becomes more meaningful. Being fully present means that when you are working, you are not glancing at your messages every few minutes. It means when you are speaking with someone, you are not thinking about the next task you have to do. It means when you are learning, you are not half listening while doing something else. Presence is not just about attention. It is about commitment. It is the decision to honor the moment you are in by giving it the best of yourself. One of the greatest dangers to presence is the habit of doing many things at once. Multitasking is praised in the modern world, but it is one of the fastest ways to weaken your results. The mind is not designed to hold deep focus on multiple things simultaneously. When you try to do 2 or 3 things at once, you are not doing them in parallel. You are switching rapidly between them, and each switch costs energy, attention, and depth. The result is that you finish more tasks, but each is done at a fraction of your true ability. Being fully present means you choose one thing, and you do it completely before moving to the next. This is not always easy. Your mind will try to escape the present when it feels bored, anxious, or uncomfortable. It will try to pull you into planning the future or replaying the past. This is why presence is a skill, one that must be practiced. The first step is awareness. When you catch your mind wandering, do not judge yourself. Simply guide it back to what is in front of you. Over time, this becomes easier, and the pull of distractions becomes weaker. Being present also requires trust. Trust that the future will take care of itself if you give your best to the present. Many people live in the future, always thinking about what's next because they believe it will give them control. But this constant future thinking steals the power you have right now. The truth is, the future is built in the present. The more fully you engage with the task before you, the stronger the foundation you lay for what comes next. When you are present, your energy changes. People can feel it. A conversation with someone who is fully listening feels different from a conversation with someone who is half distracted. Working on a project with your full attention feels different from rushing through it just to be done. This difference shows up in the quality of your results, but also in the way others respond to you. Presence commands respect without demanding it, because it shows you respect what you are doing. There is also a deep sense of peace that comes from living fully in each moment. When you are present, you are not carrying the weight of yesterday's mistakes or the burden of tomorrow's uncertainties. You are simply here, doing what is in front of you to the best of your ability. This lightness frees your mind and allows you to approach challenges with clarity instead of panic. The more you practice presence, the more you discover that most of your stress comes not from the moment itself but from your resistance to it. In practical terms, you can cultivate presence by creating rituals for your focus. Before starting a task, take a breath, clear your space, and decide that for the next stretch of time, nothing else exists but this. If thoughts about other things come, write them down on a piece of paper to handle later, then return to your work. Use physical cues, such as sitting in a certain place or wearing headphones, to signal to your mind that it is time to be fully engaged. Over time, these rituals train your brain to drop into focus more quickly. It is important to understand that presence is not about speed. It is about depth. You might spend an hour working on something slowly, but if you are completely focused, that hour may produce more progress than 3 rushed hours filled with interruptions. When you choose depth over speed, you create work that has weight, meaning, and lasting value. In a world that glorifies busyness, the ability to slow down and give yourself fully to a moment is a quiet form of power. Another gift of presence is that it transforms ordinary activities into moments of growth. Eating a meal while fully aware of its taste, texture, and smell becomes an act of mindfulness. Walking while paying attention to your breath, your steps, and the rhythm of the world around you becomes a form of meditation. Listening to someone without thinking of your reply becomes an act of respect. These moments, when collected over time, change the way you experience life. Instead of rushing through each day waiting for the big moments, you begin to find meaning in the small ones. And here is the most important truth: presence is not just about productivity, it is about living. You do not get life in bulk, you get it in moments. And if you are never fully in those moments, you miss your own life while chasing it. Being present allows you to actually live the hours you are given instead of letting them blur into a haze of half attention. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. So the next time you begin a task, remind yourself this is the only moment that matters right now. Pour yourself into it. Let everything else wait. When you are with someone, give them the gift of your full attention. When you are working, give the work the best of your ability. When you are resting, truly rest without guilt. This is how presence becomes your natural way of living. Not something you force, but something you choose again and again, until it becomes part of who you are. And when you live like this, each day feels fuller, each action feels stronger, and the life you create is not only more successful, but also far more alive. Every evening, as the day comes to an end, there is a quiet moment that belongs only to you. The world begins to slow down, and the noise of the day fades into the background. This is when you must ask yourself the most important question: did I use my time well today? This question may seem simple, but it is a mirror that reflects the truth. It is not about how busy you were, but whether your actions carried meaning. Many people rush through their day, ticking boxes, answering messages, and moving from one thing to another, only to look back and realize they were running in circles. Ending with reflection allows you to step out of that cycle. It gives you the chance to pause, to breathe, and to see clearly whether your steps were moving you toward your goals or away from them. Without this habit, days blur together, weeks pass unnoticed, and years disappear before you realize it. Reflection is not about judgment or self-criticism. It is about awareness. When you reflect, you are gathering the wisdom of the day, so that tomorrow you can walk with greater clarity. Imagine each day as a stone you place on the path of your life. At the end of the day, you look at the stone. Was it strong, well-shaped and steady, or was it fragile, unbalanced, and likely to crumble under pressure? By observing without blame, you can understand what made the stone strong and what made it weak. This insight becomes the foundation for the next stone you place tomorrow. Slowly, the path you build becomes firm and unshakable because it is laid with awareness. In the silence of reflection, distractions lose their power. The endless noise of social media, the small irritations from the day, the pressure of other people's opinions, they fade when you turn inward. You begin to see that much of what felt urgent was not important. You begin to realize how much time was spent on things that did not truly matter, and how much could have been given to the things that bring meaning, growth, and peace. This awareness does not come automatically, it must be cultivated like a garden. The more you tend to it, the richer it grows. If you skip it, weeds of distraction and habit will take over. Reflection also trains humility. No matter how well you planned your day, there will be moments you could have done better. Accepting this truth without ego allows you to improve without resistance. Instead of saying, "I failed today," you can say, "Today taught me where I must be stronger." This shift in thinking turns mistakes into teachers rather than enemies. Over time, you begin to welcome lessons, knowing that every insight gained in the evening will guide you to a better morning. To make reflection a powerful habit, do it in a way that resonates with you. Some write in a journal, letting their thoughts spill onto the page so they can see them clearly. Others simply sit in silence, eyes closed, breathing deeply, replaying the day in their mind like a slow motion film. Some speak aloud, talking through the day as if advising a friend. The method does not matter. What matters is the honesty you bring to it. Without honesty, reflection becomes self-deception, and no growth can come from lies we tell ourselves. When you end each day with reflection, you also deepen your relationship with time. You stop seeing it as something that slips away from you, and start seeing it as something you can shape. A day well spent becomes a treasure, not because everything went perfectly, but because you gave your energy to what matters most. And when a day feels wasted, it becomes a lesson, reminding you not to repeat the same choices. Slowly, this cycle of awareness transforms you. Your actions become sharper, your decisions more deliberate, and your days more aligned with your purpose. There is also a quiet joy in reflection. It is the joy of recognizing the small victories you might have overlooked in the rush of the day. The kind word you offered, the moment you chose patience over anger, the task you finished with focus. These moments are seeds of self-respect, and when you notice them, they grow. Over time, you realize that a life of meaning is built not only from grand achievements, but from the countless small moments you chose well. Reflection shines light on these moments, so they are never lost in the shadows. And finally, ending with reflection brings closure to the day. Many people carry the weight of unfinished tasks, unresolved emotions, and restless thoughts into their sleep, which robs them of rest. Reflection is a way of setting that weight down. You acknowledge what was done, accept what was left undone, and prepare to face it tomorrow with renewed energy. In doing so, you give your mind permission to rest and your spirit space to recharge. Time is a river, always moving forward. You cannot hold it still, but you can shape how you travel within it. Ending each day with reflection is like adjusting your course, making sure the current is carrying you where you want to go. Without it, you may drift aimlessly, waking years later in a place you never intended to be. But with it, every day becomes a conscious step, every choice a deliberate stroke, and your life becomes the masterpiece you were meant to create. At the end of your life, you will not remember how many days you lived. You will remember what you did with them. The hours you waste will be gone forever, but the hours you use with purpose will continue to bear fruit long after you are gone. Master your 24 hours and you master your life. The future you desire is not hidden in the years ahead, it is hidden in the discipline, the focus, and the intention you bring to each day. Begin now. Use your hours well. Your time is your life,